Hello again, this is Aaron, and I want to continue my series here on the 12 days of Christmas. So today is day 3. We talk about the three French hens. So just one moment, start. All right, the third day of Christmas, as the song goes and as the tradition goes, is where we celebrate the my true love, which again is God, giving us three French hens, which is odd because what is a French hen? And that kind of actually hints at where the song came from. That is not something we normally relate back to the early times of Christianity in the Middle East, because why would there be French hens in the Middle East? Did France exist then? I don't think they did. So um, the actual term of the French hen, usually referred to as the Faverolles chicken. It's a French breed of chicken, and that might actually be even past when this happened, because the song itself came about in the 1600s. But I mean, the French hen itself is a chicken, so what does that mean in the great terms of Christianity and all of that? It's kind of funny to make it that dramatic. I don't really have any sort of insights about what hens do. Obviously, lay eggs, that helps to nourish you, that sort of thing, which might have something to do with that. But just going on what this represents inside of Christianity, because, we've talked about the first day of Christmas being Jesus himself, and the second day being the Old and New Testaments. So the third day, there's a couple of different things. One, which I don't subscribe to, is that the three French hens represent the gold, frankincense, and myrrh that the wise men gave. The reason why I don't think much of that one is because the wise men in the Epiphany story, which Epiphany is the day after the 12 days of Christmas, were a major factor in that, and it would be weird if the third day has something to do with the 13th day. So that's something I've seen mentioned, and it's something to think about, especially in the idea of gift giving. Uh, the third day, that's the day where you give gold to people. Yeah, or, sweet smelling things or stinky things. I'm not a big fan of incense of any kind, so it could be that. But the more commonly understood, and I think better idea, is that they represent the three biblical virtues of faith, hope, and love, which love is often replaced with charity. I think some even say love is charity. They're the same thing. And I I don't have a very strong opinion about that either. I think charity is an act of love. I think charity is something we do for people when we want to show them love. I don't know if they're the exact same thing, but the Bible might say differently. I might be wrong, so we'll leave that one open to interpretation. Something else I've seen is that, put this the right way. Oh, each of the days are also represented by people. And in my stream yesterday, I missed the second day, which was actually Stephen. Saint Stephen is the first Christian martyr that we have on record, at least. And that is something to think about. I think Hugh's death is what helped to convert Paul. He remembers it very, who was Saul at the time, remembers it very vividly. So there's that. Also, day 3, the person who's associated that is Saint John the Evangelist. He is the only apostle he's the only apostle that did not get martyred, although he had a lot of hard living and things that happened, but he did not get murdered for his faith like so many of the other, all of the other apostles did. So that is something that is interesting to note. That doesn't mean that, everyone everyone who believes in Christ should be killed or anything like that, but it's something to keep in mind. And so that is the third day of Christmas, to think about faith, hope, and love. Faith, believing in God, having that just bridge, and in itself faith being a gift from God to be able to overcome the gap that we wouldn't be able to overcome, that he overcomes for us with the gift of faith. At least on our end, he comes to us constantly. Hope is, again, belief that God will intervene when it's necessary to help us, that the world is not doomed, that none of us are doomed, that there is a way out. And that way out has been provided for us through Jesus. And then love, which, again, in the minds of charity, but love is God. To think about it in charity, though, in that terms, would be us going forth doing things for other people. And when I think about the idea of a gift for the day, that's where I'm leaning towards charity. Charity itself is a gift. What sort of charity can you provide to somebody that you know you love? You're already giving them a gift, as family member. So the idea that I have is that you might do something for them. That day 3 may be the act of charity, where you sacrifice something of yourself, something you own, something that you can do for them, and that would be the gift. That is not to say that you don't want to buy them stuff, so you just give them some of your old crap, something like that. But there's a bit of a self-sacrifice in it, and I think that's useful in an act of love. So it might not be as simple as just giving somebody something you don't use anymore. That seems kind of weak, but the idea that you give them something that they want, that they want, and that you still want, but you want them to have it more. And I think that's a great idea. So that's what I think about the third day of Christmas, to give somebody something of your own to benefit them, something that they want, something that you want them to want. So those are my thoughts on the third day of Christmas. Again, the Three French Hens. It's great that of all the different things, the French hen is the one that seems to be the silliest to me. I think other people might think different things, like what do golden rings have to do with anything, or calling birds, or I think they used to be called collie birds. Could go on about them. I mean, a lot of the later ones are just things doing things to sound funny. Three French Hens, in the term of the song, kind of makes sense, but it's in of itself, it might be something to look more into. Again, thank you, and hopefully this has been of some interest. Have a great day.